What's going on, guys? More NFL commentary, taking a look at a pair of Rashad Johnson game-used gloves. I used these gloves to incorrectly pick the Cardinals to win today. Afterwards, I was asked about my thoughts on Larry Fitzgerald, so that's going to be the topic, thus the gloves. I do want to say real quick, you have no idea how hard it was to get those things to line up for this video, but I put in work for you guys, and speaking of putting in work for you guys, I'm going to be on pace for about 10 to 12 videos in 10 days. So do me a favor, go back, take a look at the other ones. Got another Madden video coming up for you guys later on this afternoon. To get back to the topic at hand, though, Larry Fitzgerald, I think the first thing we need to talk about is this financial aspect. He has a huge salary, and the Cardinals have came out. They said that they're not going to cut him, that they've got him configured into the budget, and they're going to keep him. And to me, I don't know if that's reasonable, but I would also think that maybe trading him is an option. If that doesn't happen, hopefully, Larry Fitzgerald has been a consummate pro his entire career, revises his contract a little bit, reduces his salary. If he wants to see a Super Bowl, if he wants to see the playoffs again, they need cash, they need cap space, and they need to bring in other players. I don't think watching the game today, going back through the game today as well, that he made the Arizona Cardinals this year. I don't think that they were one great wide receiver away from winning games, and I certainly feel that if you took him off the field, they weren't going to be a different team. So if that's the state of your franchise, why not get something out of him in a trade? The fact of the matter is, though, what are you going to get? A third rounder, a fourth rounder, a fifth rounder? This is a 31-year-old wide receiver. This guy just came off his lowest yardage and reception since his rookie season. He only had a pair of touchdowns this year. Now, I understand there's going to be a counter-argument. At times he was playing with third and fourth string quarterbacks. They had zero run game. In fact, their running game was criticized by the commentators today. But in short, you can also say that they needed him to step up. And for what it's worth, they tried to force the ball to him even today, and it basically turned into interceptions on silver platters. I don't know he could step up because they didn't have anybody capable of getting the ball in his hands. He's too valuable of an asset to be screwing around with reverses and screens. So I think ultimately a lot of teams are going to look at this as a lost season for him, but they're also going to look at that monster contract. To me, when you look at places that he could go, I think a lot of people are going to look at a team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, with their struggle as a wide receiver, their need for stability there for so many years. But I really see the Vikings as the answer. This is a team that needs a feel-good story after what happened with Adrian Peterson. In fact, how ironic would it be if they could pull some type of trade, a Peterson for Fitzgerald, whatever the case is going to be? It would almost take the negative aspects of not only the Vikings season with Peterson, but with their wide receiver core, and parlay it over to Arizona and offset their negative aspect of their season with the running back situation. So I don't think that's realistic. I think that's a fantasy. But while that trade is unlikely, the concept of Larry Fitzgerald in Minnesota isn't to me at all. I mean, his hometown is Minneapolis. He used to be the Vikings ball boy. He's done a ton of local football work there and charity programs. I think his father still writes there. I say I think because whenever Larry was in a big game, his father would always write some, abstract S that would get blown out of proportion. I didn't read anything about it this year, so I don't know if he still writes there, but he used to. Aside from the personal reasons, there's a lot of football reasons for him to go to Minnesota as well. I mean, this would give him an opportunity in the twilight of his career to mentor a player like Cordell Patterson, who's coming off a great rookie year, but went from first string to fourth string because he didn't have any, chemistry with Bridgewater. Obviously, Mike Zimmer had some issues with his work ethic. And even if he can't do that, let's say they get rid of Patterson, he would take some pressure off Greg Jennings, who I looked at this year and didn't feel like he was capable of being a number one wide receiver, but he still got gas in the tank. Teddy Bridgewater looked a lot better than I expected. In fact, he looked better than any quarterback Arizona rolled out with this year. So to me, that would be a natural fit. Love to know what you guys think about that. I appreciate you taking time to check out these videos. And you know what? I'll be back later today with more content.